Hello, welcome back to my channel and welcome to Carla's Calorie Crush. This is the new shortened version where you just see my weekly recap and my weigh-in results. And I want to start by thanking you all for your patience and tolerance over last week's rather odd COVID edition of this, which came to you from my bed. As you can see, I'm back up and running. I had negative test results on Sunday and Monday, which means I'm allowed back out into society. I've put some slap on for the first time in well over a week. I feel much more myself. I feel like I've just got the very tail end of a cold now. It had an odd effect on my eating last week. Firstly, I wasn't able to eat out. I eat out a lot normally. I enjoy eating out. It is my social life. And it fits okay into calorie counting, providing you make careful choices from the menu. However, as we've said before, when you do eat out, you cannot necessarily be sure of the amount of salt you're consuming, and you're always being a little bit vague with the calorie estimates. Although you can take them from the nutritional information on the menu or on the company's website, you're still relying on the chef using the amount of oil that the company thinks he should use, etc, etc. So it's always a little bit more hit and miss if you eat out a lot, and I'm okay with that. That's fine, I accept that. Not eating out meant that I had to actually prep my own meals. Having COVID meant that I wasn't in circulation with my family for most of the week either. So I was doing things like taking a packed lunch upstairs during the day. I'd go down and make my breakfast and pack lunch while I was taking that upstairs to stay out of the way as much as possible. Later on in the week, I relaxed those rules a bit because it became clear that my kids didn't seem to be picking it up off me regardless. So it just meant that I ate probably much lower calorie meals in general, and I wasn't snacking as much because I was in my bed feeling shit and not thinking about what I could eat next. I ended most days with several hundred calories left, which is not like me. I like to use my calories. I enjoy having those calories available to me and I like to use them. And also, eating well under your deficit amount isn't necessarily the best way to lose weight. It works, you'll lose weight, but it isn't necessarily sustainable because you have to then, if you want to carry on that way, you have to carry on eating those very low calories. I don't want that to be the way I eat. I want to eat the maximum calories I can to still have a weight loss, and that's what I aim for. So although last week was probably effective, in fact I know it was effective because I've been on the scales already, although it was effective, it wasn't necessarily the way I want to continue. I don't want to carry on having several hundred calories left each day. Also, when I first started this weight loss, I was doing that sometimes. I was having several hundred calories left because I was so enthused by how I was doing it. And what happened was my hair began to fall out because I lost weight so quickly. So that's another thing that's worth thinking about. Let's go and see how I got on the scales, and we'll carry on this chat afterwards. Monday, scales time. It's 270.2. I round that up to 270.5. I think that gives me a £3.5 loss. £3.5 off is fantastic. I'm very pleased with it. I don't expect to do it week on week. It means I did take off a pound last week because, as you remember, I gained a pound last week on my way in. So that pound was taken off. It means I can put 3.5 on now. 1, 2, 3, and then that one is the half. I've now lost 7 stone, 11.5 pounds. I'm 2.5 pounds away from 8 stone. I fully expect to be able to see that 8 stone within the next couple of weeks. If I continued having several hundred calories left a day, I could probably do that 2.5 in the next week. I can't see that happening somehow. Certainly as the COVID has retreated from my body, my calorie count has crept back up again because I am refinding my appetite and I am around food more. I'm not sitting in my bedroom locked away. I am very pleased with the £3.5. It's a nice jump start, and it means that the next stone is in sight, which is always a nice thing, to be able to see that next stone on the horizon. And a total loss of 7 stone, 11.5 pounds is definitely not something to complain about, is it? I'm very pleased with that. I don't know what to expect from this coming week. I hope I won't have a gain. There's no reason I should have a gain. I've got quite a busy weekend planned with some company coming and some outings and stuff like that going on. But hopefully I'll manage to keep things in check. I did do some meal prep this week, which means I've still got a couple of those meals to get through. One of the comments on the what I eat in a day video in which I did that meal prep was, I don't know why you don't do this more often. And I'll tell you why I don't do it more often, because I've got 4 of those meals now that I need to eat over a couple of days, and I'll be bored rigid of it by the time I've done it. And what I made isn't always freezable. So that's why I don't do it all the time. And I don't particularly enjoy prepping food for one person. Just don't particularly enjoy it. However, I am, like I said, pleased with my result this week, chuffed with how that's worked out, and onwards and downwards. onwards and downwards. I'd like to see that other £2.5 on there to put the next gold star on. Where are we now? Today is the 15th of March. I would like to see that happen by the end of March. That would be a lovely thing to see. Not going to set myself a challenge. I don't rise well to challenges, but I'd like to see it and I'll be pleased if it happens. Thank you for joining me, and I will be back next week with Carla's Calorie Crush. Take care. Bye for now.